The best laid plans, folks. I'm up here in the northeast of England and I had a place that I wanted to show you for breakfast today. Looked it up this morning. It's only closed, isn't it? So I've had to recalibrate and have a little look around the area and see what else I can find. Now I found something I think is really appropriate to this situation. There's a bar restaurant behind me here called These Things Happen. Kind of sums up the situation I'm in this morning, doesn't it? Had a look online. They cook breakfast, they got benedicts, they got something very interesting on the menu as well, which I think I'm going to try. I had an Harbour smoky not so long ago. This is a sort of smoked fish speciality from this region. So let's get inside and find out what it's all about, shall we? Let's go. Right folks, come in and been seated. And I've got to say, I quite like the vibe of this place. You've got lots of exposed brickwork and natural wood around. Yeah, it's kind of like a mix of industrial and rustic, if you like. Now this place apparently used to be a garage, and the family that owned it closed that business, and rather than just disposing of the site, decided to turn it into a bar and restaurant. So I think that's quite a nice idea, really. And apparently they're doing very, very well for themselves. Great reviews online. I have the breakfast menu here, and unfortunately, the one thing I saw on their menu online that I really wanted to try is not on this menu. That's clearly out of date, the one online then. That was Craster kippers. Really fancied some local kippers, but not available. As the sign says, these things happen, don't they? So what have I decided to go for instead? Gone for the full English. Taken the mushrooms off, but that comes with bacon, sausage, black pudding, beans, tomato, sourdough, fried potato, fried egg, all for just £11. I think that sounds pretty reasonable. And then, to go alongside that, something a little bit different. It's a benedict. Now, I know you're all going to say, oh, everyone gets a benedict, but this is a different kind of benedict. It's made with beef brisket, rather than your usual ham or smoked salmon, and it's a chipotle hollandaise, so a little bit of spice, a little bit of smokiness in there. I think that's going to be really interesting. So, I've got myself a pot of tea, Yorkshire tea. Get that poured out, sit back, relax, listen to the light music in the background, and wait for my breakfast to arrive. Looking forward to it. Time for a bit of tea while we're waiting. And what I quite like about this place, look, everything matches. Even the little milk jugs. Nice crockery. So we're going to go in with this Yorkshire tea. Here we go. Get a nice brew going on. And it's quite a good sized pot, this. I'd say I'm going to get at least 2, maybe even 3 cups of tea out of there. How do you have your tea? Little dash of milk? Just a dash for me. I know it's a very personal choice, that one, isn't it? Lots of people prefer it without milk. Lots of people have loads of milk in there. Also a nice little touch here. Proper salt and pepper mills. Again, matching. And they got nice different coloured ones around some of the tables. They've put a little bit of effort in. Little attention to detail. And I like that. Right. Time for a nice brew. And that'll set me up for my beautiful sounding breakfast. Breakfasts have been delivered, and I tell you what, they look really pretty, don't they? Beautiful cooked breakfast here. Got a nice fried egg there, very crispy looking bacon, a couple of sausages, toast standing up so you don't get the toast sweat. A little jug of beans here, nicely roasted tomato by the looks of it, black pudding, fried potatoes, and what looks like some crispy kale as well. It's got to be good for you, isn't it? Almost a health food, this one. Not going to start with this though. I'm going to swap this around, and we're going to go with the benedict first. Again, look how pretty that is. So we've got 2 poached eggs on the top, we've got some greenery, make it look pretty. The brisket all over the top of a nice bit of toasted sourdough. The chipotle hollandaise, and what looks like some kind of hot sauce, chili sauce, maybe sriracha. We will find out. Anyway, let's move this greenery for now. I probably will eat some of it, but we won't be able to see the egg properly if we have that on the top, won't we? So we've got 2 poached eggs here. Let's see how they cut open. Not too bad, a little over perhaps. Runny in the middle there, but a little bit hard round the side. Let's try the other one. Oh, that's better. Look at that one, that's oozing nicely. Yeah, like I say, this one's just a little touch over, but not by much. Not enough that you'd want to complain about it, certainly. So, what I want to do first, get rid of this little bit of egg off the fork. I'm interested to try these sauces. So I'm going to get a little bit of this hollandaise. Very nicely made, actually. And a really nice background chili heat there. That really works, actually. You've got a little bit of acidity in there. Nice and smooth and creamy. And then a little wallop of chili at the back of the throat. That works, and that's going to go very nicely with that brisket, I think. Do you know what? Let's get it all together, shall we? No point trying all these bits by themselves. So let's cut through this sourdough toast. We've got the brisket there. Get some more of the egg on there. Bit of the sauce. Come on. Here we go. This is a mouthful I'm looking forward to. That's really good. The egg is lovely and creamy. The brisket here, nicely shredded. And a really good, intense beefy flavour. The toast, nice texture to it. And then you get that nice creamy, chili hollandaise. Oh, this really is a nice treat. You know what? This isn't something I would have thought of, really. Benedict, you do get, you know, the one with the spinach, the one with the salmon, the one with the ham. Very occasionally you'll get a miner's Benedict, won't you, with black pudding? I don't think I've ever seen one with brisket before. I'll tell you what, I will be looking out for one again. Look at this meat. They've not scrimped on it. Lovely and juicy. And then you've got the hollandaise on there as well. Oh, that is cracking. On to plate number 2. I say, I'm still really, really impressed by that Benedict. That is something special. So what I've decided to do here, I've repurposed the saucer from my cup of tea, and I'm going to move the toast out of the way there. It's been stood up for a good while, so it's nice and crispy. No toast sweat there. Really nice butter as well, proper posh French stuff. So they're not scrimping on things here. And that gives us a little bit more space on the plate. What I'm going to do, decant the beans. God, they're hot. Oh, it's in a little metal jug. Metal conducts heat, doesn't it? So, got to be a bit careful with that one. There we go. We get them onto the plate there. I wouldn't normally try the beans first, but seeing as I've got them here, let's give them a try, shall we? Good quality bean. I'm no expert, but I'd say they're probably Heinz. Again, we've got the egg hidden by a little green wig, so we'll move that out the way. A little bit of chives over the top here. And again, the egg here. Possibly a touch over once again, but not hard, you know? I think that's kind of acceptable. I'm going to try a little bit of that first, by itself, and then I have a plan. Nice fried egg. The herb doesn't really add a lot to it there, but it's reasonably nicely cooked. It's not crispy around the edges. What I'm going to do with this is go in with one of these crispy potatoes. Now, you know my views on things like hash browns on a breakfast. Look at these. Absolutely cracking. Cooked potatoes, chopped up and fried, so you get them nice and crispy there. This is what we used to have on our fried breakfast when I was a kid. Oh yes. The potato is lovely and soft in the middle and really crispy on the outside. That is great. And where are we going to go next? Let's move this egg out of the way a little bit. And we can get to the sausages now. A good friend of mine claims that the sausage makes a breakfast, doesn't he? We'll see if he's right here. A couple of smallish looking sausages. Skin a little tough. And let's see inside. It looks just like a regular. Well, maybe there's a little bit in there. Maybe it is a Lincolnshire. Something along those lines. It is. When you put that in your mouth, you can pick up the herb straight away. And in spite of my reservations about the skin being possibly a little overdone, inside, that is really nice and juicy. That is actually a cracking little sausage. And that well done skin, if you like, does give it a nice snap. Oh, yes. Okay, bacon. So we got 3 little bits of bacon here. And as I mentioned before, the fat on the outside crisped up really nicely. Not the thinnest or thickest bacon in the world, just kind of average.
So is based on salmon, you get a choice of ham and beef, and then you get pork checks with this one. It's kind of like it's got no egg yolk.
It's a little dry. I would say this has obviously been cooked in an oven, and that has dried it out a little bit. The crispy bits in the fat have that lovely flavour, but the flesh of it is a little bit leathery, but it's pretty good. Pretty good. The flavour's nice. What else have we got here? The black pudding. Nice little hockey puck size of it. Quite fine little bits of fat in there. It's closer to a Scottish black pudding, I would say, than an English one. But of course, being in the northeast, we're not that far away from Scotland, are we? So maybe that shouldn't be a surprise. Good flavour. Good flavour. Nice little pepperiness to it. I like that. I like that. As you can see here, very kind of finely ground. No big chunks of fat in there at all. Very, very nice and tasty. Just a couple more elements to go here. The tomato. Again, beautiful colour on the top of it there. You can see where that's been roasted. But will it have been roasted through properly? That is the acid test with a tomato, isn't it? Let's see. That is cutting very easily, which suggests to me that the chef here knows how to cook a tomato. Perhaps he could go to London and get a job in Hyde, the Michelin-starred place, but a breakfast chef cannot cook a tomato. Superb. Superb. When you roast the tomato properly, it just intensifies that flavour a bit, doesn't it? Now, the bit that's confusing me a little bit is the crispy kale, seaweed, whatever. Not something you see on a breakfast very often, although you do get lava bread, I guess, in Welsh breakfast, don't you? So, it's tasty enough, though. Iron-rich flavour, crisped up. It's obviously just been chucked into the deep fryer, so it makes it a little bit greasy, so it kind of feels right on a breakfast. Do you know what? I'm impressed with all this. What also impresses me, proper sauces in a proper bottle. So what I'm going to do, get this on my plate and get cracking with it. Don't want it to get cold, do we? Finished up, paid the bill, come outside, and of course, it started drizzling. As the name of the restaurant suggests, these things happen, don't they? Do you know what? I quite enjoyed my time in there, to be honest with you. The venue itself, I like the way it's been laid out. I like the decor in there. And I like the fact that a family has taken an opportunity to sort of rescue a failing business, recalibrate, and come back with something new and interesting. And what they're doing there certainly does seem to be interesting. It's a breakfast place at breakfast time. You can go for lunch there, you can go for dinner there, and it's a bar, they have DJs, all sorts of things going on. So it's like an all-day venue, really. Breakfast, though. Let's think about that, shall we? That Benedict with the brisket. The idea is genius. Like I said before, loads of different Benedicts out there that you see on menus. I don't think I've ever seen a beef brisket Benedict before. And of course, you've got that chipotle hollandaise on the top as well. Really, really tasty. The only letdown, the cookery of those eggs. Just a touch over. Moving on to the full English breakfast. Now, of course, I had the mushroom taken off, so I can't comment on that part of it. The rest of it was a little bit of a mixed bag, wasn't it? Again, the fried egg, slightly overdone, so you didn't get that runny ooziness all over the plate from the yolk. I know some people will like that. It's all personal preference, isn't it? As you know, I like my eggs to have a really runny yolk. Not snotty or anything, just a nice runny yolk that you can dip stuff into. And this was missing here. The bacon, tasty, but overdone. Definitely overdone. It was dry. The fat was crisped up nicely, but it would be because it had been cooked too long. The sausage, again, the skin just cooked that bit too long. God, I'm getting wet here. But yeah, the inside of the sausage, very, very tasty, but just not perfect. Not perfect. What else was on the plate there? The tomato was great, cooked through nicely. The black pudding was good. The beans were decent. And the toast, I didn't show you that on camera, but because they'd stood it up, almost like using a toast rack, isn't it, like that? And it keeps it from getting that horrible sweaty underneath that I find really unappealing. So it's a kind of a difficult one to score, really, because there were lots of elements there I really liked, but there were some that weren't perfect. Let me have a think about it while we talk about the prices. That Benedict, £10.50. I think if those eggs had been cooked perfectly, that could have been a 5 out of 5 dish for me. But I think because they weren't, it kind of comes down to about a 4 out of 5. £10.50 though, I don't think is an unfair price. The full English, £11. Again, I think it's fair, but there are elements missing from it. Just weren't quite good enough. So for me, that's kind of like a 3.5 out of 5 breakfast, really. The tea, £3.20. Cameraman had one as well. So overall, a price of £27.90. I mean, that's not bad, is it? It's not bad. No service charge either. The people of the North East haven't cottoned on to this London trend of putting service charges on everything. So £27.90 is a good price, but one or two things I think they need to sharpen up on. 4 out of 5 for the Benedict, 3.5 out of 5 for the fry-up. I mean, I think we're going to go about a 3.8 out of 5, I think, overall, is fair. Now, I know some of you will be in there, in the comments section saying, you know, I like my bacon like that, or I like my sausages like that, I like my eggs like that. And that's all fair. That is all fair. It's personal preference, isn't it? I'm giving you my opinion here. And my opinion is that's a 3.8 out of 5 breakfast. Feel free to let me know down below if you agree or disagree with me. I have no doubt you will do so. Anyway, where am I going to be off to next? Well, I do have a plan, and I am going to check online to make sure it is open a bit later on today. Because as we know, if you don't, these things happen. I'll see you next time, folks.